Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new around here, my name's Rainy, and I read all sorts of books from like fantasy to romance to thriller, all of the things. So if you like that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below, and follow me on all social media platforms at rainybluereads. It really helps my channel grow. Today's video is all focused around Haileyween, which is a 7-week or a 7-day readathon hosted by Hailey Hughes. It's where you read thriller and horror books, but you can read any books that you want, honestly, to fit the prompts. But you should follow Hailey. She's one of my favorite content creators and YouTubers, and I'm actually friends with her, and I got to sprint with her this week, and it was a great time, and I had the best time. So anyway, I'm going to tell you about the prompts right before we get started, and then I'm just going to let you know that I did not read the books for the prompts. I read every prompt, but I changed a lot of the books, and I'm not going to let you know what books I changed them to. Just let you know what I had planned on reading. For the first prompt, which is to read a book that sets place on Halloween, I was planning on reading Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. For my BIPOC author read, I'm planning on reading Jackal by Erin E. Adams. My LGBTQ prompt, I plan on reading You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. For my movie to adaptation one, I plan on reading The Exorcism, The Exorcism book by Grady Hendry. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, good lord. For classic horror, I plan on reading Dracula by Bram Stoker. And then the buddy read is Nightsedge by Liz Kevin or something like that. So anyway, those are the 6 books I plan on reading. And I do read some of those, and I don't read some of those. But I finish all 6 prompts, by golly, so I'm pretty proud of myself. So anyway, I'm going to let you segue into the vlog now so you can see how I did. Good morning, friends. Happy Haileyween. It is day 1, and I'm at my classroom giving this first update. And the first book that I'm reading for Haileyween is the prompt, read a book that takes place on Halloween at some point within the novel. And I'm reading Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. And I'm a little sad with myself because I'm not gonna lie, I've only seen The Nightmare Before Christmas like 2 or 3 times in my life. Yeah, I know, don't come for me. We just didn't watch that growing up. I really like it, but I thought since they lived in Halloween Town, that meant it's Halloween every day. No, they still celebrate Halloween once a day. It's just a Halloween-themed town. However, in this book, it says that Halloween is 2 weeks away. So I'm assuming that it's gonna end on Halloween, or that Halloween's gonna happen during this book. If not, we are just going to fudge it, and we're going to count this because they literally live in a town called Halloween Town. And if you come for me with this prompt, then I'm going to be sad, okay? So I am already 15% of the way through this book. This book reads super quick. And so this one literally takes place right after the events of Nightmare Before Christmas, where Sally has finally married Jack Skellington, and she is now the Pumpkin Queen. And so they are going on their honeymoon to like another realm. And then when they come back, they apparently find this magic door that takes them to a new land that they didn't know about called Dreamtown. And then some crazy stuff happens that could put Halloween Town and her Pumpkin Queen status in jeopardy. And I have only gotten to the part where they just finished their honeymoon. They went to Valentine's Day Town for that, and so that was super cute to like see how it's different and whatnot. And they just got back to Halloween Town, so I'm sure like the Dream Town place is gonna pop up super soon. But I like it so far. It's very cute, easy to read, and so yeah, I'm going to hopefully be able to read a lot of this today and then finish this tonight on sprints, because I'm going to be sprinting with Hailey tonight, Hailey and Aspen tonight at 9 p.m., which is 10 p.m. for me, so it's going to be a little bit late, so I'll probably only be on for like a sprint or 2, but this should be really good. I'm very excited to get to read this, and I'm really liking it. But I've got to get ready now. I have kindergarten coming here in like 3 minutes, and that is my life on this lovely Monday morning. Hello friends, day 2 of Haileyween, and you're getting another update from my classroom because I was going to update you last night, and then Eloise woke up crying right as I was filming at like midnight, and it was my turn to take care of her, so it is what it is. I'm wearing a jacket and long sleeve stuff because it is 45 degrees here now in Florida, because we are starting to get to like the cold sections of Florida. And I'm mad at myself because I just put on whatever shoes I find when I wake up so that like my feet don't get dirty on the floor, and I put on sandals, and my notorious issue is forgetting what shoes I have on when I go out to go somewhere. And I did not want to be wearing sandals in 45-degree weather, but alas, here we are. Another creepy thing that happened when I got here is my emergency exit door was open. So of course I did like the whole check the closets, check everything to make sure there's no creepy stalker man in here with me, but that was not pleasant. Anyway, I have 2 updates for you. Let's start with the update on Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, and then we'll talk about the other update. So I am 65% into this book now. I have about 100 pages left. And it is just all right. I don't know if I'm that intrigued in it. Like, I feel like I would rather have more scenes with Jack and Sally as a whole, but Jack was in this for a total of 10%, and now he's not in it at all anymore, and it's basically focused on Sally. And, like, it's cool and all. Like, I like the idea that she finds this other world that she accidentally walks into called Dreamtown, and she doesn't realize that she lets the Sandman escape, and so he puts everybody in all the other towns to sleep, like Christmas Town, Thanksgiving Town, Halloween Town, and they're all in a deep, dark slumber, and she has to go back into Dreamtown and, like, save the day and stop the Sandman. And there was this plot twist in the middle that I was quite not expecting, and I don't know how I feel about it, and I don't know if I believe the plot twist. So we'll have to see from there. That's all I'm gonna say, but it's all right. Like, it's looking like it'll probably be a 3.5 star, maybe 4, because it is cute. However, it does not actually probably end up being on Halloween, but I'm just gonna stretch this. I'm gonna stretch this. So that's the first update. The second update is that I originally said I was gonna read Eric LaRocca's, like, You've Lost a Lot of Blood for my queer author rep. And I'm not reading that anymore because I was on sprints with Hailey and Aspen last night, and which I also had to leave early because of baby Eloise, but it's okay. I left during the last sprint. And a bunch of people were talking about reading this book called This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau, which I believe she's bi, and she wrote this book a year ago. It's like a short little horror novella. And so Hailey said that I would really like it. And so I decided to just ditch my TBR and read that. And I read it in one sprint. It's about 92 pages long. All I'm going to say to you, well, first let me just, actually, no. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. Because if I tell you what it's about, and then I say that it reminds me of this, you're going to be like, oh, okay. So, just go into this book thinking it has Bates Motel energy. If you've ever seen that show, Bates Motel, which, oh my God, that is such a good show. Like, I need to watch that show again. Like, it is creepy, but it is so good. It has Bates Motel energy, and that's all I'm going to leave you with. It is a 92-page horror novella. I gave it 5 stars. It was creepy. It did what it needed to do. It has an ambiguous ending, though, so if you're not one of those people that likes ambiguous endings and you wish that it would, like, wrap up a little bit better, then, like, this is not the book for you. But I personally like where it ended, and there's just so many possibilities of where it could go, honestly. So that is my update on that. So my plan today is to finish Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. Oh, and then I have to read another book, because last night on the last set of sprints, which I'm really sad I had to leave, we all decided to download this weird, creepy little horror novella called Scream for Us, which takes place on Halloween, and it's basically a girl's reverse harem story with 3 masked men on Halloween, and so you better believe I'm gonna read that. So I'm gonna read that, and that'll take, like, no time. So my goal after this is to read this, to read Scream for Us, and then to start our horror classic. And I was going to read Dracula. However, another classic is Sleepy Hollow, right? Ichabod Crane and all that. Well, what if I was to stretch that a little bit and read Hollow by Karina Halley, which is this new Sleepy Hollow Ichabod Crane dark romance retelling? I don't think that's too far, right? I think that's fine. I think that's socially acceptable. I think I'm going to do it because I really want to read it. It's really what we're going down to. And I've decided, like, I don't need to make a TBR anymore for these readathons. I just need to read what I want, when I want, and have joy. Have joy. Okay, so I'm going to go get ready for theater class. And I need to put this away because there's a farmer puppet on my desk because I'm doing Farmer in the Dell with kindergarten. I know. I lead a crazy life here in the elementary music world. Okay, see you later. You know the drill, friends. I'm in my classroom again because I keep forgetting to freaking vlog these updates while I'm home with my nice camera. So sorry if the quality is not to your liking. Also, if you hear the AC on, it has to be on because it was hotter than, like, it was so hot in here because I put the heater on this morning because it was 50 degrees in my classroom. It's like an icebox in here and now I'm hot. Anyway, updates on books, on what I have started and what I have finished. So I finished Long Live the Pumpkin Queen last night as I was cleaning my house, and I gave it a 4 stars. It was very cute. I liked how it wrapped up. Without having spoilers, I liked where the plot twist went, and I really liked how it ended. I thought it was very cute. However, my main qualms is that Jack Skellington was not in it nearly enough. I didn't really care for Sally. She was very complainy and, like, mopey and kind of obnoxious, and, like, I don't know, like, I feel like she was kind of like that way in the movie too. Hence why, I know this might be blasphemy, but it's not like my favorite movie in the world, but it's still good. But anyway, I thought it was a very cute story for, like, what it was, and it was a cool retelling / like what a sequel could have been if we had ever gotten one. So I made that a 4 star. And so that was for my Halloween one. Although technically, they never made it to Halloween. But you know what? They live in Halloween Town. I'm counting it. I'm counting it. I'm counting it. So I've knocked off the Halloween prompt. I've knocked off the LGBTQ author prompt. And now I am knocking off the BIPOC prompt because I started Jackal by Aaron E. Adams this morning. And this is a thriller slash horror that was in I think Gabby and Bree's book troupe last year, and Gabby actually ended up hating this and Bree ended up loving it, and so I am trying to see where I'm gonna fall in that, but I've been wanting to read it for a while. I know it is her first author, I'm pretty sure, and she's a first generation Haitian American writer and theater artist, so that was awesome. Anyway, so what this one is about, also if you hear talking downstairs, sorry, there's like a class going on in the morning. Anyway, this is about a young black girl that goes missing in the woods outside her white Rust Belt town, but she's not the first one and she may not be the last. So then there's this woman named Liz. It follows our main character Liz, and she is a black woman and she doesn't have fond memories of this little town in Pennsylvania, which is predominantly white. But her best friend is getting married, so she has to go back, but she's getting married in the woods, and the woods has bad connotations because the last time she was in the woods, this other black girl disappeared and was found murdered like savagely a week later. And so then Liz decides, so Liz is like, I'm just gonna get in, get out, go to this wedding and leave. But then while she's at the wedding, her best friend's daughter disappears. And so she realizes, crap, I'm gonna have to stay, help her find her daughter. And as she's researching into the town, she realizes like, wow, this is not the first, like my friend is not the first one that disappeared. There have been others before and others before and others before. And they've all been black girls, except for Caroline, the girl that goes missing. I don't think is black, she's white. But either way, it's up to Liz to figure out what is going on and how to stop the cycle from repeating itself. And so I am about 25% into this book. And so I've met Liz, and I like that we're getting little flashbacks of like the other girls that have disappeared. So like the first like chapter followed Alice, a girl that disappeared in the 70s. And then we follow Keisha a couple of chapters later, who was the girl that Liz knew that disappeared in like the early 90s, and now we're present days in 2017. And so I'm really liking those chapters. I'm liking being inside of Liz's mind. We have just gotten to the part where Caroline is missing and they are all searching for her, and so I'm sure it's going to go off from there. I'm excited to see what twists lie in this book, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really, really good. And yeah, so hopefully I can finish this today, because then I want to start my horror retelling one. I need to start the group pick selection at some point, Nightsedge, and then I have one more to do after that, which I'm blanking on what the topic is, but that's fine. All right, anyway, I will hopefully come back to you with an update super soon about this. Hello friends, I'm finally in my room doing this update, but I'm having to do my hair and still get ready for the day because I'm getting ready for school, so I'm going to do that while I'm talking. Anyway, let's talk about a reading update. So last night I was on Reading Sprints with Haley and Aspen again, and I'm a little tired from that. I stayed on a little longer than I should have, but it's fine. And I read a couple of books. So I got up to 45% in Jackal, and I'm still really liking it. It's still very mysterious. I'm not really sure what's happening still. Like, the last thing that happened is that the main character, Liz, finally, like, went to a meeting to meet with all the other mothers of the parents that have had kids disappear in the middle of the night, and they find out like there's a recurring pattern. I'm not going to tell you how many there are, like how long this has been going on and stuff, but like it's a big deal. Also, I want to fix what I said earlier. That little girl was black. Her best friend is white, but married a black guy, and I didn't realize that, but obviously now that's also a trigger warning for racism, because there's a lot of racism that's been going on throughout this book with him, with Liz, a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm 45% through. I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited. I have one theory, and if my theory is correct, I'm going to be pissed, but I'm sure she's got to be a better author than that. She's not going to do that to me. I really hope. And then, because I also was trying to put Eloise to bed during the first sprint. I couldn't read that book because I didn't have it on ebook, so I had to switch to an ebook. So I started Hollow by Karina Halley, which is the Ichabod Crane Sleepy Hollow dark romance. And I'm 12% in. All that's happened is the way they have it set up is there's this girl named Katrina, and she has witch parents, and the dad dies early on and basically says, don't show your mom your true powers, don't tell anyone your true powers. And she's supposed to be engaged to this guy named Braun, and they've been engaged since they were children. When she turns 15, he disappears, leaves Sleepy Hollow. They have no idea where he's left, and so plans change. She can't marry him anymore, so her mom sends her to Sleepy Hollow Academy, which is like for, I guess, people with powers. And so she just got to the academy, and that's where I left off. And her teacher is Ichabod Crane. So I'm very stoked for that. But anyway, I gotta go, or I'm gonna be late for school. So I'll see you later. Hello, friends. I have baby girl with me, who today is her half birthday. She is officially 6 months old. How did she get this old this quickly? Lord knows. Time flies when you have kids. But I'm here to do an update. Today is day 5 of Haileyween I'm about to head off to circus rehearsal and auditions for the next show that we have in a minute. So I wanted to pop on and give a quick little update. I have officially completed 3 books because I finished Jackal. So we're going to talk about Jackal. And I am further into Hollow by Christina Hailey. And I also started Nightsedge because like I couldn't not. But okay, updates. So yesterday I went to work. I did sprints when I got home with Hailey and them. That was good. But anyway, here's the deal. So Jackal. I finished it. And I gave it a 3.5 star. And so I was not fully sure of what was going on in the last part. And so, luckily, Gabby did a book club discussion on this last year with Bree from Lockbooktition, who explained it insanely well for me. And then in that same month, Jan Agaton also did a full moon book club discussion, and Bree was also the guest speaker for that on Jackal. And she liked Jackal so much, Bree, that she did an author interview with Erin E. Adams on her channel. And so I watched all 3 of those things, and it helped me have a much better appreciation and understanding of the book as a whole. And I'm not going to explain 100% like what I didn't understand about it or like what Jackal even means pertaining to the story, because that's literally a dead giveaway spoiler. But there's a lot of like mythology and folklore involved into this that I didn't know about, and like just I missed a lot of the metaphors and like the stuff that Erin E. Adams was trying to convey about like racism, like systemic racism and white privilege, and just like being, and like how this actually happens all over the world where black girls like go missing and like no one cares to do anything about it, and how media sensationalizes when white people are missing but not black people. Anyway, it was actually a very eye-opening book. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 stars is because like I feel like it just wasn't written for me, or that I just didn't really understand it. But I thought it was very well crafted. I thought it was a very interesting story up until basically, I mean, I thought the whole thing was interesting. I just feel like I didn't get everything out of it that I probably should have gotten. And so for that, I give it a 3.5 star, but like it was very, very good. I do still recommend it. I'm going to recommend it in my BIPOC and LGBTQ book recs video that should be releasing at some point soon, probably either before or after this, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, so I very much liked Jackal. So that was a good book. So we've knocked off the BIPOC one, we've knocked off LGBTQ, and we've knocked off Set on Halloween. So all I have left is movie adaptation, which is where I'm reading My Best Friend's Exorcism. And then I have, my camera keeps like not focusing. And then I have the Horror Classic, which is where we're reading the retelling of Sleepy Hollow. So let's do an update on that. I am 35% into Hollow by Christina Hailey, and I just love it. I will say it is very slow burn. We've not gotten to the romance yet. We've not even really gotten to the hint of the romance yet. Like Miss Hailey takes her time setting up an event, an atmosphere. But you know what? I'm here for it. So I don't remember a lot about the original Sleepy Hollow. Like I know the story vaguely. I've watched Sleepy Hollow before. I'm going to watch it again soon because I'm definitely in the mood to watch that. All I know is that in this one, I think I mentioned it already, it's about Katrina, and her 2 suitors are between Ichabod Crane and Brom, and the Headless Horseman ends up in there somewhere. But anyway, we're getting further and further into the school. Ichabod is her teacher for a couple of classes, so we've gotten to see their interactions, and we're waiting to see where the romance formulates. I'm also waiting to see when Brom pops back up in the story, because if you remember from my last clip, I said that in the first scene, he like just disappears from Sleepy Hollow, like nowhere to return, and he was her betrothed, like she doesn't know what's going on. So I'm waiting to see what happens there. But I'm really, really liking it. It's very good. I feel like it's going to be 5 stars. I'm very excited. And then I started Nightsedge, because everyone in Haileyween has already been reading it, and Hailey absolutely loved it, and so I only have the audiobook and the ebook for 2 more days, so I need to read that. So my plan is to hopefully finish Hollow tonight, so that finish Hollow tonight so that I can continue on with Nightsedge, and then I can kick it off the last 2 days with My Best Friend's Exorcism and hit all of the prompts. Like, I'm really rocking it. And I'm only 4 books away from my Goodreads goal. I'm so close. All right, I will come back to you a little bit later. Hello. On sprints, 24-hour sprints with Neva and Kelsey and Bree and Margaret for Neva's 24-hour sprints. And I am switching back and forth between 2 of the books for this prompt. So I already talked about Jackal because I finished that. So let's talk about Sleepy Hollow, another update. I am now at 60% and the spice be spicing. Miss Karina Hailey knows how to write some spice. And we are getting both types of spice. We're getting men, we're getting women, we're getting everything. However, okay, the Headless Horseman has finally arrived. He came in about 20 pages ago. And I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that situation, because he seems like he's kind of at the background of the story. But, like, I want to get more into this, as you know. And now we finally have Brom has returned. And so now, like, Katrina is finally having to, like, choose between, like, Ichabod Crane and Brom and, like, this whole thing. There was a twist that happened in the middle of the book. And I saw it coming about 10% before we got there because of something that was said. And I was like, this is what's gonna happen. And I was writing, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know. I need to finish the book, see where they take the twist, see how we go about it. Honestly, I'm probably just going to have a spoiler section here really quick. And so I'm going to put a little spoiler section. And then if you are going to read this book, skip it. I'll time skip it. Anything. Anyway, I predicted, okay, spoiler time. I predicted that when Crane was talking to Katrina in the bathroom in that hotel or whatever, or in the bathroom at her house, wherever they were, when they were talking and he was talking about his past relationships and how he had gotten his heart broken by a man, and he shared that he sleeps with men and women, that he was like desperately in love with this man who was like very haunting and disturbed and like you could tell was in a bad place. And the guy kind of just disappeared on him. And he's like, he's the one that always got away. And his name was Abe. And I go, you know, he probably used a fake name and it's Brom because Brom disappeared and this Brom guy has disappeared again. And it's going to be Brom and they're both going to have been in love with Brom. And I was freaking right because then when Brom shows back up, Crane goes, Abe? And Katrina goes, who's Abe? And she goes, holy shit, it's the man that broke Crane's heart. I don't know how I feel about that. I read enough. I was about to say Miss Hailey has a habit of making people like both have been with the same person, that like they're both main characters in a story. But that is not Miss Hailey. There's another book I read though that did that, where one of the big twists was that the two main characters had been with the same like side character that ended up becoming a main character. And so it was like very like, how do we navigate that type of situation? And I feel like that's what's happening here. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Honestly, I'm loving it. Like, if it's not 5 stars, I will be very shocked. Like, I'm a Karina Hailey stan, and I love this. And I can't wait for the sequel, Legend, which comes out on the 30th. So you know what? I'm going to be reading that sequel super duper soon. And in that same note, let's talk about Nightsedge. I was going to try and, like, differentiate these different, like, updates. And maybe I'll move this to where I'm only talking about Nightsedge, but I'm listening to that when I was cleaning my house earlier because I couldn't read Hollow because I have to read it physically. And so I was trying to clean, so I switched to Nightsedge. And honestly, I didn't really know much about this before I started it. I just knew that it was the buddy read for Haileyween. And so I'm about 16% in, and it's about this girl, cannot remember her name, but her mom is a vampire. And so apparently, like, I don't know how she got turned into a vampire, but, like, vampires are common, like, and they're considered, like, outcasts and, like, all this stuff. And like, it's, like, people are trying to find cures for vampirism, all that sort of stuff. And so it goes back and forth between 2010, which I think is when she just got turned into a vampire, and, like, them dealing with, like, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, I gotta help her manage becoming a vampire and shit. And then I think it's, like, 10 years later when our main character is like 20. She's been helping her mom manage being a vampire for years, helping her navigate like taking blood and like how to like live in the world and all this stuff and still function. But she finally wants a life of her own and she wants to escape her mother. And how is she going to go about doing that considering her mom is a freaking vampire? And so I'm 16% in, and we've switched back a couple of times between 2010 and present day. And I am intrigued to see where the story is going. It's been a little slow. I'm not going to lie, like not much has happened. It's honestly just a toxic relationship between the mom and the daughter, which I get, like one's a vampire, like hello, toxicity at its finest. But it's still really interesting, and everybody says it is so good and it reads so quick, which I do agree that it reads really quick. So I probably will finish that one up tomorrow, but I'm going to spend most of my time on Hollow tonight because I am just loving it up. It is like the perfect atmosphere book for like right now. So that's the plan. I feel like I've been talking at you 5 million years and holding this pen and doing weird stuff. And so I'm going to take a break, read more of Hollow, and I'll get back to you. friends, sorry for the terrible video quality, but I cannot get up right now because he has fallen asleep on me and baby girl is asleep in my room, and so I'm going to give you an update from here. So I apologize in advance for the crappy video quality. Okay, so I have finished Hollow by Karina Halley, and it is a 5 stars. Now, there were 2 or 3 things that I wasn't 100% in love with, so technically this should have been a 4.5, but I just love this story. I love Sleepy Hollow. I love the story. I'm excited to read Legend. Here are the things that I didn't love as much. The Headless Horseman was hardly in it at all. Like, at all. I'm hoping there's a lot more in the second book. 2, I feel like it was just kind of, not necessarily not as plot heavy, but like, I feel like there was so much build up that like a lot is going to happen and be answered in book 2, and I just wish more of it had happened in book 1. And then my only other complaint is that the spice was very few and far between, which is surprising for her, but it was still very good. I loved it so very much. If you love Sleepy Hollow and you want a nice dark spicy romance retelling, this is the book for you. Ichabod and Brahm, they are disturbing souls, but they are very interesting to read about. So I'm going to actually read book 2 when it comes out on the 30th. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm going to keep on reading Nightsedge so that hopefully I can finish. And then the last book I need to start and finish by tomorrow night is My Best Friend's Exorcism, which that's always the book I put off. No matter what TBR I put it in, that's the book I put off. Why? Probably because I'm not a big Grady Hendrix fan, and I keep reading his books anyway, so I don't know, but I'm gonna let little dude keep sleeping. Hopefully they both sleep. And then probably after this, you're going to see the footage of me from the pumpkin patch earlier. I went to the pumpkin patch with my son on a field trip for him, and so that was fun. We're going back again tomorrow night to actually take family photos, because we take family photos every year at the pumpkin patch, and this year we'll have little Eloise, although I did get one cute little picture of her today, and I'll post it right here. But we're going to we went to the pumpkin patch, and then I'm going to my big giant local library book sale that happens twice a year, and it is this weekend, and so I'm going as soon as my husband gets home, so that's very exciting.
How are y'all doing? What are you reading? Let us know in the chat too.
Not reading, or I should be reading. I'm going to read in this next sprint. Lincoln, why do you have a giant cantaloupe in your hand? Okay, I will cut it in a minute. Put it back in the fridge, please. Okay, anyway. Giant melon in his hand. I decided to reorganize my bookshelves, and it sounded like a good idea at the time, and now it's not a good time because books are everywhere. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But I am reading Nightsedge, and I'm 50% in now, and I don't know.
No, after I was raving about her.
I just don't know yet. I just have to. I feel like it's one of those books I'm just not going to know till I finish. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have hope for you.
Okay, I have hope.
I'm reading Jackal.
Oh.
I only have 100 pages left. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love it. It's giving like the same vibes as like Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus. Like just no thoughts, head empty, good vibes.
Morning, friends. Don't look too closely at my hair. It is doing some crazy stuff. Look instead at the very cute baby that I'm holding that's wearing her Halloween vest. Anyway, I'm on here to tell you that I finished Nightsedge this morning. We're staying up pretty late with the girls again, Hailey and Aspen, for sprints. And it is a 3-star, which is better than I was expecting. It was headed into 2-star territory. And then I realized I just don't like the audiobook. I don't really like the person that's narrating it, because Hailey told me she didn't even use the audiobook unless she read it physically and had a great time. So I switched to physical for the last 25%, and I really enjoyed it a lot more. So I feel like this book could have gotten a better review for me or rating if I had read it physically. I feel like sometimes there's just some books that the way you read it affects your rating, and that happened to be the case for this. Am I going to read book 2? No, honestly, I'm not really interested in book 2, but it was a good time. I am still disappointed though, because I know that I think I'm of the unpopular opinion in not giving it a 5-star and making it my whole personality. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it as the buddy read for this readathon. But you know what? Sometimes things just work out the way they're supposed to work out. So, it was a 3-star, middle of the road. And then I have a couple of updates to share. I went to the local library hall, and I did not film anything while I was there because I completely forgot, and also it was really busy because it was the first day, and so, you know, there's a lot of people there trying to find good books and stuff. So instead, I figured I would just show you what I got. I got only 4 books for myself. And then I got a bunch of children's books, and I won't show the children's books. I got a lot of Eric Carle books, a couple Dr. Seuss ones for her when she gets older. But it was not as exciting or impressive as it normally is. Honestly, the October sale is never as good as the April sale. Maybe it's because after Christmas people give away a lot of old stuff. I don't know, but I was trying to be purposeful and intentional about what I bought, and only bought stuff that, like, I could actually see myself reading sometime in the foreseeable future. So I got 4 books, so let me grab them and I'll share them with you. Okay, so the first one I got was The Arrangement by Robin Harding, because I know Hailey Hughes has read a couple of hers and absolutely loves her. And so I was interested in this one. I can't remember entirely what it was about. Let's see. It says, Natalie's a young art student in New York City struggling to pay her bills when her friend makes a suggestion, why not get a sugar daddy? So then she gets a sugar daddy more than 30 years her senior. This handsome corporate finance attorney seems like the perfect candidate, and within a month they're madly in love. At least she is. Gabe already has a family whom he has no intention of leaving. So when he abruptly ends things, she can't let go, but he's not about to let his sugar baby destroy his perfect life. And when a body is found near Gabe's posh Upper East Side apartment, murder happens. Okay, interesting. I'm sure this is going to be a good time. I'm sure. So we'll go with that. And then the next one we have is Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. And I know this is a local author to my town, actually, and I've kind of been interested in this book for a while. And this one says, one morning, Jessa Lynn Morton walks into the family taxidermy shop to find that her father has committed suicide on the metal tables. Shocked and grieving, she steps up to manage the failing business while the rest of the family crumbles. Her mom sneaks into the shop to make aggressively lewd art with the animals. Her brother, Milo, oh, that's my brother's name, withdraws, struggling to function, and Bryn, his wife and the only person she's ever been in love with, walks out without a word. As she seeks out less than legal ways of generating income, her mother's art escalates. Picture a figure of her dead husband and a stuffed buffalo in an uncomfortably sexual pose, and the Mortons reach a tipping point. For the first time, she has no choice but to learn who these people truly are, and ultimately how she fits alongside them. That sounds really weird, honestly. But I'm here for the weirdness. I'm here for it. Then we have What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty, and I only picked this up because it was either Brittany or someone. I can't remember who, and it probably wasn't Brittany, that said this was the best Liane Moriarty book they've ever read, and it is absolutely fabulous, and so I was intrigued. So it says, let's see, Alice Love is 29, crazy about her husband Nick, and pregnant with their first child. So imagine her surprise when she comes to on the floor of a gym and is whisked off to the hospital where she discovers the honeymoon is over. She's actually 39 years old, has 3 kids, and is getting divorced. That knock on her head is misplaced 10 years. Now she must piece together the events of the lost decade and find out if it's possible to reconstruct her life at the same time. She needs to figure out why her sister hardly talks to her and how it is she's become one of those super skinny moms with really expensive clothes. Ultimately, she must discover whether forgetting is a blessing or a curse and how to start over. That sounds super intriguing. I definitely will be getting to that soon. And the last one I got is The Whisper Network by Chandler Baker. I got this under the intent that I maybe would do an author taste test, because I think I have her book called The Husbands. And so this one says, Sloan, Artie, and Grace have worked together at their company for years, and they've supported one another through exciting promotions, meetings, marriage, motherhood, divorce, and office politics. They have their secrets. They've all done something they regret. When the CEO dies suddenly, it means their boss will likely take over the company. He's a complicated man they've all known for a long time, who's always been surrounded by whispers. As he's pursuing the promotion, he's also targeting a new young female employee, and the women have decided enough is enough. Lies will be uncovered, secrets will be exposed, and not everyone will survive, as whispers only carry so far. Just like, she's very sad, so I'm gonna hold her up. Anyway, those are the 4 books I got for my little haul, and I'm not going to drag this out much longer, so let's talk about the last prompt that I need to read today when this video releases, so that I can be done with Haileyween. Originally, I was supposed to read Mr. Grady Hendrix, My Best Friend's Exorcism. I don't have time to read that today. It's not a book that I can read in a quick sitting, because I don't read Grady Hendrix fast, because we know that I don't love Grady Hendrix that much. So then I was thinking, what's the short book I could read that definitely has a movie or TV adaptation, and it struck me. Spy X Family. I've been wanting to read this. I have never gotten to read this. I've been wanting to read this, and I own the first 3 novel or volumes in the manga. So I'm going to be reading this. So if you don't know what this is about, I believe it's about a spy named Twilight, and he goes on undercover secret missions, but he receives the ultimate assignment that he has to get married and have a kid. So then he ends up getting married to this woman, and apparently she is an assassin, and she doesn't tell him what she is, and he doesn't tell her what he is, but the kid that they end up having is a telepath, and so she knows what both of them are, but they don't know, and so it makes things interesting. So, we have a spy, an assassin, and a telepath all living together under one roof. It's going to be a crazy time. So, I'm going to go read this and then probably watch the first episode, and then I will give you my final thoughts and wrap up this vloggy vlog. Lincoln has something he'd like to share at the end of this vlog. What happened, dude?
I burnt my foot.
He burnt his foot. I accidentally left my straightener out, and I thought I had turned it off, and I had not. And that is a very bad mom parenting thing. But it was a very, very tiny little burn. So we are fine. We've iced it, and everything's good, right? Yeah? Alright, so here while I finish the vlog real quick. Okay, so that is the end of the vlog. Oh, I need to actually update you on Spy Family. So I just finished Spy Family, and it was the cutest little thing ever. 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I was wondering how they were going to end up in an arranged marriage, this spy and assassin and the telepath daughter, and it was very cute. I definitely read volume 2 sooner than later, and I had a very good time with it. So let's rank these in order of favorite to least favorite.
Make this house bigger.
So I read a total of 6 books in this vlog, which is fantastic for Rainy, especially because I have not had a 6 books in a week moment in a long, long time. So let's rank them in order of least favorite to favorite. So least favorite would be Nightsedge, which was a 3-star, which honestly that's pretty good, having a 3-star be my worst one for the thing. And we had Jackal coming in at 3.5 stars, and Long Live the Pumpkin Queen at 4 stars, and Spy Family at 5 stars, and This Is Where We Talk Things Out at 5 stars, and then ending with my top read of the time, Hollow by Karina Halley. So Hollow was definitely my favorite. I absolutely loved it. I love a Sleepy Hollow retelling. So I had a pretty great time. Honestly, I found some new favorites. Oh, baby girl's getting tired. She just woke up though. I found some new favorites. I had a great time in this vlog, and I actually did and completed a readathon from start to finish, which I never do. Hopefully I'm also able to do that for my readathon next month, the Get a Clue readathon, which I'm always going to promote, so make sure that you go check it out. And if you want to participate in Haileyween next year, then follow Hailey. She's a fabulous creator, and I have linked to her video and everything down below here, and you should follow her because she's pretty great. Alright, I am going to let you go. Let this baby girl go take another nap, probably. And I'll catch back with you in a vlog very, very soon. Bye!